Hi, this is the tutorial for Macrorify. I'm gonna make a very simple macro and revise it many times. Each time I'm gonna up the level and make it more powerful. In the end, you will understand all the basic features of the app. Without any further ado, let's jump right in. So the macro I'm gonna make is for one of my favorite games, Another Eden. And it's very simple. You will go left, right, left, right, until you hit the battle and select the attack button. Wait a little bit for it to end and exit. This is the very simple macro where you can use to farm experience point or achievement. Alright, so let's go to our Macrorify and make our macro. For the name, I'm going to use auto battle. The version is 1. You can use alpha or beta, whatever you like. Then we're gonna choose our app, which is Another Eden. The game in landscape, so I'm gonna select this. We're gonna use image detection later, so I'm gonna select this as well. Press save, and we will open edit mode. Give it the necessary permission. Screen capture, right? And start edit mode. So you can access the toolbar as winding it up, left or right here. Let's get back to our game. Alright, so level 1. You don't need to put in any effort. We will just record it. Right, so to record your touch, use this button over here, record your touch. Click on it. Now this is the record panel. You can press this button to record, start recording, and when you want it to end, just hit this. Right, so let's just record left, right, left, right, left. We're gonna need another extra right. Wait a little bit. Click the attack button. Wait a little bit and exit. Alright, so that's done. We're gonna hit here. Let's go this battle. Save. So this is our recording, and you can now say this macro. Go back to Macrorify. You can temporarily hide this with this and start play mode. Now you can set the battle to repeat any number of times you want, or set it to infinity. Let's try that. Let's just do it one time. Alright. Hide and attack. Wait a little bit. There we go. So that is level 0. You can just record your touch like this, but as you can see, this is not really good for Another Eden because the squad is a bit messy here. So we're gonna go next to our level 1, which we will make this manually so it looks a bit more nicer. Alright. So before going to the next level, I'm gonna show you this. In here you will find the resources, right? So you will find your record here, and when you click on it, you can see all your square and clip, and you can edit this however you like. You can take this and reorder them, right? Or change any parameter. So the recording is fully editable. And in here you will see this is the main group, and this is where things get run. right? This is called the record play. We will play a record, right? So record is saved as a subfile in here, and we will play it here. By designing it this way, we can play a record whenever we want and however we want. So you can make you can record small part of your macro, and then you can play them and stitch them together to make a bigger macro any way you want. Alright, so that is recording. So now we're gonna make them manually for our level 1. I'm now gonna show you a very cool trick. So instead of remake all of them, I'm gonna select all of these in our record and use this cut button to cut all of them. Go to our main group and just paste them in like that. I'm gonna remove this. We're not gonna need this anymore, and we're gonna remove this empty record. Now this is still the same, right? I'm gonna remove all of these. We don't need it. Let's leave only 2 swipe, and we're gonna clean this up, right? So this is our goal, right? Let's make the left go up, right? So since we only need to go from here to here, we don't need the 2 points. We can press remove them and try this out, right? So this is, we want to hold at this point for, let's say, 2 seconds, right? Then we're gonna do the same. Let's try this out a little bit. For this, swipe right. I'm gonna hold at this for 2 seconds. Right? I don't want any delay, so let's remove the delay. Oh yeah, right. Alright, so I'm now just gonna copy this, copy, paste them again, and let's move them up. There we go. So now our macro look is more simpler and prettier. They still overlap each other, but it looks more simple now. So let's run this. Right, left, right, left, right. So I think we don't need the last 2 swipe, so I'm gonna remove that later. Now the attack, click attack, and alright. So you will see that we have some form of delay, right? You can hold it like this, click the edit swipe, and you can reduce the delay here, like so. So it will swipe as soon as possible. Right, anyway, I'm gonna remove the last 2 swipe. We probably don't need it. Right, so that is the level 1. You're gonna make this manually so it looks a bit more organized like this. Alright, we're gonna go to level 2. So you see these 2 defaulting is the same. They just duplicate of each other. So instead of having 4 swipe like this, I'm gonna use what is called an action group, this here. I'm gonna put these 2 inside a group and repeat them instead of just copy them like this. So let's add a group. Use this button here. Right, we're in a group, and I'm gonna move this group up. Right, I'm gonna remove this swipe. Select this, cut these 2 swipe, and paste it into the group. Now we go back. We're gonna hit this pen button here. Give this group a name like left, right, and this is the repeat. We want to repeat this. 2 times, right? So now if you go back, you will see we only have 2 swipe, left and right, but we know these two will get repeated 2 times because we put them in a group. Alright, well, let me change the delay. Right, 0, right, and this is 0. Now let's set that. Alright, see, work perfectly. So that is level 2. You're gonna put duplicated path of your macro into a group and repeat them instead of just copy and paste. So this is look more nice. Alright, next we will go to level 3. So here's the problem with the group. When you come to another event, left and right is a very common action. So you might want to reuse this left or right in different place, not just here. So if in our current state, if you want to reuse this left and right, you might want to copy and paste them like this. But that's still the same problem as before. We just put it back another level. So instead of making a group like this, we're gonna make a function so we can code it however we want. So you might think that function is complicated. Don't worry, it's actually very simple. Over here you will see this tab function. Click on it, and this button over here you can add a function, right? So I'm gonna add a function, and by default the system will make a random name like this. We're gonna use this button over here to change it to more friendly name. Let's call this left, right. Alright, so it's a follow variable naming rule. The rule is actually very simple. As long as you don't start with a number, like so, then you're good. Alright, don't overthink this. Don't start with a number, then you're okay. So we got our name. Let's go back to here. We will cut these two swipes into our function, right? Like this. So now instead of, we're gonna delete this empty. Instead of that group, we're gonna call a function. This is call a function. You notice that it has a parenthesis rather than a bracket, right? So we will call a function with this. In here, you can select the function to call, and we will select left, right, and we will call it 2 times, like so. And I'm gonna put it over here. So next time, if you want to go left and right again, all you have to do is click this, select left or right, and how many times you would like, say 4. And that's it. You don't have to find where the group left right is to copy and paste them. You just need to code function, and that's it. Anywhere you like, right? So let's run this. Right, left, right. We have more right. Then stop. Click the attack button. Then end the battle. Alright. So that is level 3. You're gonna make common part of your macro into a function so you can reuse them however you like. Okay. So before we go to the next level, I'm just gonna quickly show you this. As you can see, our square now disappear from our screen. That is because our square is now in different place. This is now in a function body instead of our main group here. By default, only what is in the main group is drawn out on the screen, which means only do these 2 clicks. So if you want to say edit these 2 square, what we're gonna do? Well, we're gonna use this button over here. It's like draw selected or change working group. So if I press this, it will change to this function group, and you will see these two render out on the screen. So press this. Yeah, you see, now we are in the function group. So whatever you put you add will now be added into this group. Let's say I add a click here, right? Then it will actually go inside this group instead of the main group. And here's the cool part. You can select only the thing that you want and press it. It will draw that thing out on the screen only. So if I press this, see it say draw one, and only the action will be drawn on the screen. I actually use this a lot because I don't want my screen to cluster with a bunch of other things, and I want to focus only on one action to make it look good. Okay. And if you want to change back, go back to the main group and press it, and now you're back. Okay. Alright, so let's go to the next level. It's level 4, I think. Now this macro is actually pretty good already, but we have some very big problem, and let me show you by playing this first. Now we see that we will go left or right. So here is the problem. At this point, we have some wait time for this to click the attack button over here, and this is the problem if we run this on some other stages. Like if the stage have a very low encounter rate, then we might need to add more left or swipe. That will increase the wait time, and if we use it in a very high encounter rate, then we will waste time waiting for this attack button. So the macro is not very efficient at farming, say, experience point. What we want is to stop the swiping and then click the attack button as soon as it is available. So this is the level that you're probably waiting for. We're going to use image detection for this. We're going to detect the attack button appear and click on it immediately. Okay, so let's get back out first. Let's say you as a human being, how do you do this? You go left or right, right? Left, right, left, right. And when you see the battle, you click the add button. So how do you know if it is the battle? So we can stop swiping left or right. Now when you look at this screen, there's a lot of things that we can use. And the thing that stands out the most is, you guess it, this big fat attack button over here. The developer of the game clearly make this so big, so we focus on this, right? Or you can use this status defeat or this button over here as a visual cue to say that yeah, we are in the battle, but it is not as good as this attack button. So our logic will be, we will swipe left or right until this attack button appears, right? Now I'm gonna swap. I'm gonna flip that logic a little bit so that the seeing part, the detect part come out first. I say if the attack button do not appear or do not show on the screen, I will swipe left or right until it finally appears. So the two sentence is the same, but I put the detection part on first because we're gonna detect the attack button first, right? So level 4. So we need to detect this attack button, right? It's actually very simple. We're gonna use this button here, add image or text recognition, text detection, and click it. So you will see this rectangle over here. This is called the search region, right? So I'm gonna draw the search region over to the attack button here. The reason that we use a search region is because some element in the game can only exist in a specific place, so we don't really have to waste our time searching the entire screen for our attack button. We know that the attack button is only exist here, we limit our search region so that the image detection happens faster, because image processing is a very taxing process. Alright, so this is our search region. We're gonna click on it to open this config menu. Alright, so let's give this a nice description. This will be file attack button, right? This is the coordinate of the region. You don't have to worry about it right now. Then we go to the template. Template is the thing that we want to look for, and in this case it's the attack button here. So you can use this to take the screenshot of that attack button as a template, or you can select what you have already taken here. So we're going to take a new screenshot, and let's drag this over here. So one mistake that I noticed new user make is that they're gonna take the whole attack button like this, and I do not advise to do this, because when you take an attack button like this, it will capture the background, and if you run the macro on different state, the background will be different, so it might not find this attack button. So what you want to do is to only take a small portion of what you want to detect rather than the whole thing. Alright, so we're just gonna take this small part here of the attack button. When you're ready, you should have to click on it. That's it. And if we take our attack button here, let's call this attack. Press save. And now we have our attack template here. And you can reselect it anytime you want if you make another detection. Alright. Now let's go to the action. What do you want to do in this image detection? So now we have 4 possible actions. Click the best match, which means if the attack button is here in our region, it will click the most likely match one, right? Then the second, click multiple matches, which means if there are multiple attack buttons in this region, it will click on all of them instead of just the best one, right? So wait till appear is just like so. We wait for the attack button to appear, and the same wait till it vanishes. We wait for it to disappear. Alright. So what we want to do is wait for the attack button to appear, right? So let's select that. Then we can set some option for our file operation. Alright. So this is the timeout. By default, the image detection only scan through the screen once. When we set the timeout to 0 like this, it will scan the theme only once. Say if you say this like 2 seconds, then it will scan the screen for at least 2 seconds before giving up. So, or you can use -1 here for it to wait forever. But in this case, we will do a quick check and we will only scan it once. We will check if there an attack button or not, only one. Okay. Next, there is mean score, and this is the minimum match percentage. 0.7 means 70% match. So if there's anything on this region that looks 70% similar to our template, it's considered a match. And if you select this, it will click on this basically. Alright. So next we have a scan rate. This is the number of scans per second. When we set this to 0, there will be only one scan, so this number is meaningless to us right now. Alright. So we go to next, the fun part, which is callbacks. So callbacks here mean that it is a function that will get run when our detection success or fail. So what does this mean by success or fail? Say, if I start this image detection and it says wait till appear, if the attack button does appear on the screen, which means we have successfully found it, this success callback will get run. But if the attack button is not there, then we say we fail, right? Then this failure callback will be called. So you think it's like an if-else logic to this detection, alright? So what do we want to use? We want to use success or failure? Well, think for a second first. Alright, we will use failure because if we do not see our attack button, we want to swipe left or right, right? So let's select the function, and fortunately we already make our left right. We select left right. So what happened is if the attack button is not on the screen, it will run left and right. Alright. So this process will only do once. So we need to find a way to loop it back and make it search the attack button again. Right? So we'll go to the next section with a loop. Here we can loop when success or loop when fail. So think for a second. What do we want to use? Success or fail? Have you answer? Yeah, we're gonna do it on fail. So let's check our logic again. When this image detection executed, we will wait for the attack button to appear, and we will do one single scan only. And if the attack button is not found, we will go left or right here. And because we set it to loop when fail, it will loop back and check our attack button again. And if our attack button is not found again, it will run left and right again, and then hit this loop and loop back and check the attack again. By this time the attack button appear on the screen, then it is a success, and this success callback will get run. But since we set it to none, it will be skipped, right? And we set it to loop when fail, but we success here, so it will not loop back anymore, and this image detection will end. Right? You should understand the logic, right? If you do not understand all of that, you can rewind the video and watch it again. Right? So let's close this and open this main. This is our image detection. I'm gonna pull it up like this, and we're gonna remove this left and right. We don't need it. Alright, so we know that this image detection will only finish and continue to the next when this attack button appear on the screen, which means this attack button click, we actually don't need to delay it, because we know that it will only get run if our attack button is there. So I'm gonna set the delay to 0 and make it click as soon as possible. Alright, so let's close this. Let's then remove this and get out this button first. Alright, so now I'm gonna start this macro, and because we are in edit mode now, you will see a red box around here to indicate that an image detection has happened. So don't blink, because we only scan once. It's super fast, you might miss it. Right, here we go. Right, so because our attack button is not show, it will go left and right. See, it's not show, and this time it should find the attack button and click on it immediately after this end. See, there we go. So now we have a very efficient macro that will work on any stage. If it has a low encounter rate, it will keep swiping left or right until the attack button appears. So you can use this to farm experience point very efficient. Now we will not go to the next level. There's still one more problem we have to address. That is when we wait for the battle to end, and it has the same problem. So after we click attack, we wait for the battle to end, right? So it has the same problem as before. Because we are fighting trash mob here, the battle ends quickly. But if we fight some higher level enemy, the battle might take longer. So we might think to increase this delay more, right? But then again, it means that when we do just battle like this, we have to wait longer than necessary, and it's also not efficient. So what we want to actually do is to wait for the battle to end and exit it out immediately. And you guess it, we're gonna use image detection again. Alright, let me get back to that screen. Alright, so this is our end battle screen, and we're gonna look for some very unique visual, so we can use this to detect that we are at this screen. So think for a second, what do you think we should use? Alright, got your answer? In here, we will see that this thing is very unique, right? You can use these items over here, or this alternate text here, or you can use this ASP icon, or even this go icon to detect that we have entered the screen. So a lot of another Eden player use this ESP button, but I'm gonna do it a little differently this time, and I'm gonna use this go button over here. Now this go is actually not very safe either, because on some other stage you might have different currency. But like I said, I just want to make it a little bit different. Alright. So let's start add image detection like before. I'm gonna drag this to our go button. I'm gonna make this smaller because there's no reason to make it big, as it is, right? Wasting power. And tap on it again. Let's say this is way go icon, right? Then the template, I'm gonna tag the go icon. Because the go icon is pretty small, here I will show you a trick to tag it. You drag it to the edge like this, right? And then you make it small as possible, like so. And tag it. This will be go. Alright. So what do we want to do here? We will wait for the go to appear just like before, right? But instead of doing just one scan, we're gonna wait for it forever. So this wait forever is actually not very good, and we will deal with it in the next level. But for now, it is good enough. We will wait for this to appear, and we don't need to execute anything on success or failure. So leave it here. We don't need to loop it either. This is default and close. Alright. So let's make this up before we click our attack. After we click our attack button and before we exit out on the screen, I'm going to change the delay this to 0 as well, because we know that we're in the end battle screen. We don't need to delay it any further. Alright, so let's test this. Click, found nothing, swipe left or right, find it, don't see it, left or right, don't see it, left or right, then it should see it now. And click on it, then you will see it's now looking for the goal and end. You see we have a problem there. We click too fast. I actually knew about this, but I'm still gonna show it to you, because sometimes too fast is also the problem, because it detects this so fast, it click this before the animation finish. So in this case, you actually want some bit of delay, like 1 second. Alright, for the animation to finish first. Alright, so it should work perfectly now. Let's try that again. Left, right, and look, nothing found, left, right again. Right, nothing found, left, right again. Alright, attack button should be clicked here. Then we wait. And then 1 second, there we go. So this is the very good macro already. You can use this to efficient farm at any stage, and it will not matter if you find a very strong enemy and it takes longer time, or high encounter rate and you need more squad. It will auto adjust to that because we use image detection here. So you think this might be over, but no, we're gonna up the level a little bit more. So this is level 5, right? I lose track of which level we are at. Let's say this is level 5. So let's say we at this map, right? And the corridor is repeated, and we can run left or right with the I don't know how to say this, but we have a lot of room here. But in other state, the corridor here might get cramped and it might be smaller than it is here, and our wait for hold for 2 seconds here might be unnecessary. So you might want to give the user the option to say how long they would like to hold, or how long they would like to go left or right. So what we need is a setting menu for the user, right? And that is what we're gonna do here. We're gonna make a setting menu for the user, and it's actually very simple. You're gonna go to this here. Here we go setting builder, and you go here to build our setting, right? We will focus on this. It will go add a view. So a view is like a button. A button is a view. A text is a view. A checkbox or a radio button is a view. A view is just an Android term for view component, basically. So let's add a view. We want the user to enter how long they would like to go left or right, right? We will use an edit text. Okay. Now we're gonna need to assign a key. A key is to associate with the value the user enter in. So we're gonna use this key to reference the value. This key I will call this while duration. Okay. It's also follow variable naming rule. Alright. So the default text or the text field, I'm gonna say the default is 2 seconds. We're gonna let the user enter second here, not millisecond. Alright, the hint text is say left, right, duration. Okay. Then the helper text will say how long to go left or right. Long. Okay. We're gonna select the input method to number because we want to enter number. Okay. This is very important, by the way. Now let's go back. You can use this review button here to review your setting screen. Click this. See, this is how it looks like. And the user can enter this. Alright. So now we're gonna change our left or right function a little bit. Let's change it to this function. Go back. Hit this. No. This. So instead of hold 200 milliseconds here or 2 seconds, we're gonna say this is while duration. This is in seconds, so we want millisecond. We're gonna multiply this by 1000. Alright, like so. And we're gonna do the same for this. Instead of this while duration, multiply by 1000. And that's it. So because this setting screen will not show up on edit mode, we need to run play mode now, because you don't want the setting screen to open every time you want to test, right? We're gonna go to this option, set it to show at startup, and stop if the user press cancel. Okay, save our macro, and we will also hide this. And let's go to our Macrorify, select play mode, go back, and let's drop it a little bit down. when you run this macro, see this is our setting screen. You can enter how long you would like to run left or right here. Let's leave it to default first. Right, save. Oh, 1, 2, see, 1, 2. So it's actually go for 2 seconds. So now I'm gonna say change this to 1, and you will see it's only swipe for 1 second. Okay, 1 and 1 and see. That's amazing, right? We can let the user modify our macro at any time, any way they want with the setting menu. So that is level 5. Yeah. Let the user configure our macro by making setting menu. Alright, so let's go to the next level. We're gonna deal with the let's show this again. We have to switch back to here. We will deal with this Lv Image Detection. Now this Lv forever is a problem because we finding trash mob here. Maybe if we find a really strong enemy and we need the second turn, the enemy do not die on the first turn. And if we do it like this, the macro will get stuck trying to look for the gold button, the gold icon here, which will never appear because the battle has not ended yet. So what we want to do is not to wait for forever, but we will say let's wait for only 20 seconds. Alright, and if 20 seconds pass and our goal icon is not appear yet, the failure callback will get code and we will handle our error in this failure callback, right? And if the battle does not end after the first turn, what do we want to do? Right? The simplest thing is just to click the attack button again for the second turn and hope that it will end on the second turn, right? But we can make it better by actually loop it on fail. So this way, after we click our attack button, it will check for the gold icon again. And if we somehow our second turn cannot kill the enemy, it will click the attack button again and look back and check until the battle finish or your team get wiped out. Alright, so we will want to click the attack again, right? So we need a function for this callback, and what I will do is I'm gonna make a new function. This will call click attack, right? And in this click attack, I will just take this over here, cut it out, paste this in, and in place of that click attack, I'm gonna call the click attack instead. See, simple, right? So now I'm gonna assign the click attack to our failure callback here. So if we fail to find our gold icon after 20 seconds, we click the attack button again and loop it back. Alright. So now let's go to some place that have an enemy that we cannot kill in one turn. We're gonna go to Bisking Castle here. Right, go up. Now let's start our macro. Right, left, right, not found, left, right, and it's found again. Click on it, and it's waiting for the goal here. You can see that our battle is not finished yet. So if 20 seconds pass, it should click the attack button again and check the goal icon again. Let's wait a little bit. and there we go. It checked again, right? And as soon as it's done, you click to exit the battle and we are here. So that is the next level, which is level 6. You're gonna make some error handling, right? Or you can check for an error connection here, however you like. You might think that making it this way for 20 seconds is a bit inefficient, right? But you can implement it to click this attack button as soon as it appears. But I will leave that as a homework for you guys, so you implement that logic yourself, right, after this video, and you will let me know in the comment if you can make it, right? So this macro is pretty much pretty advanced already, but I'm gonna take it to the next level, and this will be the final one. We have to do the second turn because we can only use the default attack button, right? Our team here can use skill, so it would be great if we can let the user select which skill they want to use, and that's it, the final level, and we're gonna use a bit of coding here. Okay, right? So first we're gonna let the user select which skill they want to use. So let's make the setting menu for that. I'm gonna add a text field here, just a simple text to let the user know. Say select the skill you want to use. Right? Review. Here you will see the text here. Now we want the user to select something, and the best way is this radial group. Click on this. The key will be skill. Right? And this is the option for the user to select. So the first one will be default. Right? This is skill 1. Add more. This is skill 2. And this is skill 3. Alright, let's go back. So this is what it looks like. If the user select default, then the skill key will have the value of 0. If they select skill 1, then it will have the value of 1, 2, 3 respectively. Alright. So now I'm gonna go here and make another function which will call select skill. Alright. And I'm gonna call that select skill. And I want to select the skill be after we enter our battle, but before we click our attack button here, right? So now what's left is implement this select skill function, right? So let's change to this. Alright, let's get back to our battle first. Right, so before select the skill, we want to select the character first. Let's make that. We need 4 click here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, this is for the 4. This character, this character, this character. Alright, so when we select a character, we want a bit of delay, right? We can just select them as fast as possible. Say I want delay about half a second, right? But I'm gonna show you something cool. Rather than doing 500 like that, I'm gonna go to here. This is variable. I'm gonna make a new variable, and this will call delay, right? Then it will have a value of 500. Okay. Oh, instead of say, this, instead of say this delay 500, I'm gonna use the delay variable here. So now everything here will have delay. Alright. Delay. So the benefit of this is that if you want to change the delay, you only have to change the variable, and it will automatically change on all of these. We don't have to go to each of them to change them again. Alright, so this is, we will select our character like this. Right, let's change this to something more easier to recognize. Say 1, C, 2, right, 3, and this is 4. Alright, let's say, oh yeah, there we go. Alright, so now we need to select the scale. Okay, so this is the scale. This is the default scale. We will not deal with this. First scale, second scale, and third scale. Let's make the click for it. 1, 2, 3. So this is the third scale, the second scale, the first scale. Alright. So we don't want to click all of them. We just want to click the one that the user has selected in here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a variable for the coordinate of these three scale. So let's say I'm gonna make a variable, set this to reference in we are doing coordinate here. Say this is scale 1, right? And in order to represent a coordinate, we use point like this. Okay, and we will enter our coordinate here. And let's click this. I'm gonna copy this coordinate. Select all, copy, right? Go back here, paste it. Alright. So we got our coordinate of the skill 1. I'm gonna do the same for skill 2 and skill 3. Copy, paste. Alright. So skill 2. As you can see, this Y coordinate, our vertical space here is the same. I only need this number for skill 2. 1, 2, 4, 6, right? So skill 2 will be 1, 2, 4, 6. Alright. And skill 3 will be 1, 6, 0, 8. Right. 1, 6, 0, 8. So that's our skill 3. And now I'm gonna make another variable for our selected skill. Right. It will have a dummy coordinate of 0, 0. Just a dummy coordinate, because depending on which skill the user selected, we gonna replace this selected skill with one of these, right? Right, so we don't need this. Let's delete this, right? Delete this, and this, instead of this coordinate, I'm gonna say we will click on the selected skill coordinate. Alright, that's it. Now, it, right? This is removed automatically first. Let's change this to skill. Alright. And why does it render? Right. Put this after we select our first character, right? Do the same, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna put this after we select our second. Same thing. Alright. Now we will do some bit of coding to actually select our skill here. So let's add this. This is add code, right? Add code here. And let's say this is logic. Okay, our logic over here. And we're gonna make this the first thing on our function. Okay. So what we want to do is if, alright, skill equal to 0, which is the default if you remember this skill here. right? Skill is 0, we don't want to do anything, we will return. Alright, so if we skip all the clicking character and skip all the select skill and we will click the attack button immediately. Alright, so if skill equal to 1, then the selected skill will be the skill 1. See, it's very simple, anyone can write this. And I'm going to do the same for skill 2 and skill 3. Right, do this, space, space, this is 2, this is skill 2, 3, skill 3. Alright, so whatever user selected, our selected skill will be changed to this. Alright, so now we will say this macro, and let's end this real quick. Let's go back and start our play mode. Right, let's hide this. So now we're gonna open this. So say if we select the third skill, then our character will select the third skill to use. Say, right, right, look for no, left, right, look for no, left, right, yes, select, 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 done. See, we might need to delay that a little bit because I think that was too quick. Okay, so this skill, we will delay it, say delay, right? Yeah, that's a too quick for our taste. Delay, delay, right? And delay, no one, delay, right? Save it, and we have to reload our play mode. Reload it. That's it. And let's say we want the second skill this time. All right. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Then it should select attack here. There. Well, second skill, right? Second skill. Then attack. There we go. And see, our battle is not ended yet. If we click attack again, let's wait for 20 seconds to pass. There we go. Alright, so that is the final level. Of course, you can make this more sophisticated, like you can let the user enter how many MP they would use, so you can calculate how many battles the user can have, and then you can execute the sequence to say heal the party myself. So it's like it's a simple as you want it to be, or you want it to be complex. It can be complex if you want it. Alright, just a little bit of code and we can achieve this much so far. And as for the final touch, I'm gonna show you one last thing. This is a very good macro already. You can go to this store over here and go to here to upload your creation, right? Add an upload. You can select your this, so it autofill all the information here. You can give some description like this is will auto farm battle for you. You can even select which skill to use, right? Just some simple description. And you can set how many reputation you want. Say you want 2 reputation. So anyone download your macro, they will give 2 reputation for you, to you. Alright? And this is the main way that you will get reputation point. and you can select the icon here and select the file you want to upload. Is it? And after you upload the macro here, let me put this up. The macro will be put into review stage here. And after the admin review your macro, and if they approve it, like so, your macro will be visible in the store for other users to download. Or if they reject it, you can click on it to see the reason why they reject it, and then you can go back in, and then you can resubmit your new file here if necessary. Okay, you don't make a new one, you just resubmit it for the admin to review again. Alright, so that's it everybody. This video is quite long already, so I'm gonna end it here. If you don't understand anything, just rewind the video and watch it again. And if you need any help, I suggest you go to Discord here. And in this Discord, there are a lot of members with experience will be willing to help you. There are some that know how to code as well, so they can help you with the coding, the programming part of the macro. Right? So I suggest joining Discord if you need help. Right? So if you want me to make another video like this, similar like this, for this different game, you can tell me so in the comment section, and if I have the free time, I will make it again. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video here and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.